Hey guys, it's Mr. Clegg again. A couple of you have asked me for just a little extra clarification on this math review number 2. Specifically, why can we cancel things that are in the top and the bottom? Well, some of you didn't know to ask me that, but that's what you got to understand for this part. So check it out. So here's my question for you. Why can we cancel out the 3 in the top and the bottom here? Why can we cancel out the 2 in the top and the bottom here? So that's a main question here. So I'm going to just clarify that a little bit. So if you have a 3 in the top, and if you have a 3 in the bottom, so that's the numerator is 3, and the denominator is 3. What's that? That's 3/3. So what's that equal to? If you said 1 whole, that's correct. 3/3 is equal to 1. Okay, what about 2 in the top and 2 in the bottom? That's 2 halves. What's 2 halves equal to? If you said 1, you're right. So anything in the top and bottom, in fact, I'm even going to use the letter x. X in the numerator, x in the denominator. If they're both the same, that's equal to 1. These are getting a little too close together, so I'm going to separate them. Okay, so x in the numerator and denominator is equal to 1. Okay, so the next question is, what happens when I multiply by 1? Let's say you have 4 times 1. 4 times 1. What's that? That's 4. Good. What about 8 times 1? That's 8. So what about negative 26 times 1? That's equal to negative 26. All right, very good. So basically, what's the conclusion here? Multiplying by 1 does what? Multiplying by 1 does nothing. Multiplying by 1 does nothing. And that is important because we can use that. Multiplying by 1 does nothing. So what that means is 1 is actually known as the multiplicative identity. It's the only number in the universe that has this property. If you multiply by it, nothing happens. That's a pretty cool trick, actually. And just in case you were wondering, in addition, there is an additive identity, and that is 0. If you add 0, nothing happens. Also true of subtraction. If you subtract 0, nothing happens. So 0 is called the additive identity. But 1 is the multiplicative identity, meaning that it doesn't do anything if you multiply by it. Well, that's kind of useful because if we have something that's equal to 1, like 3/3, so we have 3 on the top and 3 in the bottom, you have both of those, then if you take them both together, they're equal to 1. And what that means is, if there's something on the top and bottom of our fraction, if there's something in the numerator and the denominator that's the same, we can cancel them out and they go away. Because it's kind of like if you wrote 8 times 1, you could just get rid of the 1 and write 8 all by itself. If you have 4 times 1, you can just get rid of that 1. You don't have to write it and just write 4. So same thing here. If we have 3/3, we can just get rid of that and just write whatever's left because the 3/3 doesn't do anything. So in this example, first thing we did was we broke down the 4 into 2 times 2. We broke down the 10 into 2 times 5, the 9 into 3 times 3. And then we canceled out some stuff that was the same in the top and bottom. 3, 3, that's gone. 2, 2, that's gone. And then the other stuff that's left behind, we had the 5, that's still there. We had 2 times 3, that's 6. Same thing here. We canceled out the 3 in the top and bottom. We have 1 left over in the top. We have 2 times 3 is 6 in the bottom. All right. The only difference for the second page is that now we're going to do the same thing with variables instead of just numbers. So we have the 3 in the top and bottom, so that can cancel out just like that. But we also have this x here, and there's an x down here. So this is kind of like Tetris, or I don't know if it's Tetris. It's like a video game where you have to cancel out something in the top and something in the bottom. If there's 1 in the top and bottom, then they can cancel out. That's it. And then the other thing that you need to notice is that any variable in the bottom cannot be 0, right? You can't have a 0 down here because dividing by 0 is a very bad thing and will make the universe end really quick. No, not really, but dividing by 0 doesn't really work in math. And so you have to make sure that you're, just try it. Do a division problem like 5 divided by 0 and see what your calculator tells you. Make sure you don't break your calculator. No, you won't break it. Okay, so here's your, they can't be 0 in the bottom. That's the only thing. And even after you cancel out something so it's no longer in the denominator, you still have to live with that restriction that x cannot be 0. So in this problem down here, we have an f and a g in the bottom. That means that neither one of those can be 0. So we just write that down. It's like no big deal. That's just an extra thing that we have to be aware of. Okay, good luck, guys. So here's basically the thing is, you got 5 in the top and bottom, they cancel out. You got an f in the top and bottom, they cancel out. And you're left with whatever didn't cancel out. That's it, guys. Ask me if you have any questions. Good luck. See ya.